And welcome to another Crockpot Wednesday. And today I'm going to make something in the Instapot, but it can be made in the Crockpot as well. I really enjoy making things in this Instapot, but the recipe is the same whether it's a Crockpot or an Instapot. It's just my pressure cooker makes it a lot faster. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started because the day is going really quickly and I'm going to have a lot of hungry people to feed here real soon. So let's get in the kitchen and let's get started. We're back again and it's Wednesday, and this is Crockpot Wednesday. So I'm going to share with you my thoughts on the difference between the Crockpot and the Instapot, which is a pressure cooker. So what we're going to make today is called chicken and pepperoni pasta. Now this is the pressure cooker recipe cookbook, but I want to share something with you. Whether I'm using it in the Crockpot or I'm using it in the pressure cooker, these recipes are interchangeable. So in other words, you can have it in the Crockpot, or you can have it in the pressure cooker, or you can make it in the oven. So this recipe has nothing to do with how you make it. So you can make it in any way you wish. A lot of people have been asking me, Tessie, what about the pressure cooker? What about my Crockpot? What do you think? And this is what I think. I love to have a Crockpot to make something that's nice, and you can heat it up slowly and cook it. You don't have to be checking on it. If you're doing a lot of chores and you're busy, you can set it and you can go ahead and do your work. But then we have the Instapot. And that is if you're really busy and your morning is just so hectic, you can throw everything in the Instapot, push of a button, and real quick you have a meal. So there's pluses to both and there's minuses to both. But today I'm going to use the pressure cooker, but like I said, this can be used as a Crockpot meal as well. So we're going to make chicken pepperoni pasta. And of course I'm going to give you the recipe at the end of this video so you don't have to be worrying about all of the different instructions. But I'm going to go ahead, we're going to put our camera and we're going to put it in our Instapot. I'm a little nervous about this one because it calls for some raw noodles. So we're going to see how it turns out because I'm really very intrigued by the whole thing, as you can tell from Monday's video, because you throw everything in and you push a button and voila, you have this meal. But let's see how this one turns out. And like always, if something doesn't turn out, I'm going to let you know. So let's get started and see what this meal is all about. The ingredients, how they're listed, and I'm going to share with you at the end of the video, of course, the whole recipe. So I'm going to kind of go through this real quickly. I've never made this before, so I am starting to make meals that I've never made before. It calls for chopped tomatoes with juice. And these are my canned tomatoes. These are from 2015. They're canned stewed tomatoes. So I'm going to use, it says 28 ounces. I'm using 2 pints. As you know, I'm not the best with my measurements. 3 ounce of tomato paste, and I have a little bit of more than that. This also was a video I did last week of canning tomato paste, taking a 10-ounce jar and recanning it, which people really love that idea. I love that idea, and it is great. I try not to tap on things because I know that irritates some people. So I'm going to try to just do it this way. Oh, Tessie, Tessie, Tessie. Like my daddy would say, Tessie, Tessie, Tessie. It calls for a teaspoon of dry basil and oregano, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm using my own mix because it has basil and oregano in it, and I'm going to use about a little over a teaspoon of it. This is, as you can guess by now, it's more of an Italian dish. It does call for pepper flakes. I'm not going to use that because I don't like things that spicy. It also calls for bell peppers. That was in my tomatoes because my tomatoes had bell peppers in them. Also has onion in it. Then it calls for 3 cups of uncooked pasta. Now I have mixed here. Let's try this. So we're going to go with 3 cups. 1, Okay, there we go. I I am going to add a little bit of dried onion, just a little. It does have onion in the stewed tomatoes, but some cooked chicken, which, as you know, I did that on Monday. And then we just lay it like this. It says to put it on the bottom. It smells really good. I know, I'm still not 100% convinced of all of this yet. Alright. And then it doesn't call for mushrooms, but I'm going to use some mushrooms. So I'm just going to use some here. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to be curious to see if I can change things around. You know how I like to change things around? I don't follow recipes. Now, I'm wondering in the Instapot, do I have to follow recipes? Then it calls for 1 cup of pepperonis. Now, these are big pepperonis I got for 99 cents. But the first thing it says to do is we're supposed to put enough water in it to cover it. So it says we add enough water to cover the ingredients completely, pushing the pasta down. Okay, so we're going to add some water, and then we're supposed to lay the pepperonis on top. To be honest with you, I was just getting ready to put the pepperoni in when I thought something didn't smell right. Now, I just bought this pepperoni at the discount grocery store, but you won't be able to pick it up. But the expiration date was at September. And it didn't smell right, and I am not using it. So there you go. That is an example how the discount grocery store can be your friend or it can be your foe if you don't look at the dates. And I admit I didn't look at the dates. So I'm not using that pepperoni. I will not use it. Something didn't seem right with it, and I'm sure a lot of people would say, oh, Tessie, it was still fine. But what does Mommy always say? When in doubt, throw it out. So we're going to go ahead. I think that's enough of water. Maybe I'll just add a little more to it. Okay, that's plenty of water. Okay, so there we go. And then it calls for cheese when it's finished. So we're going to go ahead. And my friends, it says to only have it in 5 minutes. So if you were going to use this as a crock pot recipe, do everything but cook your noodles ahead of time and then put your noodles in. And you would put it on low for about 4 hours or on high for about 2 hours. So do everything the same except for put your noodles in cooked. All right. It's to it. And you know, I'm kind of skeptical on this one because of the raw pasta. But like I said, you know, you got to really watch at your local discount grocery store if you get stuff like this, because this wasn't in the freezer, so it wasn't frozen, and expired in September, and it just has a little bit of an off smell. And you know what? The number one thing is your sight and your smell. Those two things when you're working with food. Also, when I open my canned goods, always listen for that pop. Always listen for that seal, because that knows you had a seal there. And you know what? It's not worth it for 99 cents to get sick on it. So that's a good lesson. Keep your food fresh and keep your sniffer open and your eyes open, and make sure you know what you're doing, because you know, it can make someone sick if you don't watch out. Okay, so I'll get back to you when it's 5 minutes up. I'm letting the steam out. It sure smells good. We'll see what happened. It's like perfect. It's like perfect. So what it says is to put cheese in, and I only had frozen cheese, so I'm gonna put a bunch of cheese in it. I forgot to get it out of the freezer, so we're just gonna like go like that and let the cheese melt. Let it sit a minute. But look at it. Look at the noo-noos. The noo-noos are soft. The noodles are soft. This is great. Oh, I don't understand it. It's just amazing. Okay, so we're going to let the cheese melt. I'm going to dish it out. It smells really good. So we're going to dish it out as soon as this cheese melts. You probably wouldn't have needed it quite as much liquid. I don't know. I assume after it sets, you know, it's gonna, in fact, we're gonna do something. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this in, I'm gonna put this on a casserole dish and we'll take a really good look at it. I'm very impressed. So I put it in a casserole, and you know what? If it sits a little bit, it's getting thicker. And that's what it looks like. It's almost like a lasagna type thing, but it is amazing. You could, I don't know if I would have added the water. It called for the water too. I mean, it's fine. And the thing is, if you have leftovers, so many times your leftovers can get dry. With this, this would not get dry, because if it's sitting in here overnight, it's going to take even more of this liquid up. But let's go ahead and let's give it a taste, because we don't know what the noodles taste like. I'm going to give it a taste. The pressure cooker, this took maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes to build pressure and 5 minutes to cook. So I'm guessing the electric is a lot cheaper in a pressure cooker than it would be in a crock pot. I know a crock pot doesn't take that much electricity, but you have it for hours at a time. So this could even save you money. Let's give it a taste. Okay, so here we got a noodle, because this is what really I wasn't sure about. So we have a noodle here, and you know it was raw. It's perfect. It is perfectly cooked noodle. So we have this kind of noodle, because it was the different kinds. Oh my word. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. You gotta give it a try. Add it with a salad and you're set to go. I'm gonna make some salad for Chevy Man. Oh my goodness, I'm really excited. I really am. This is really neat. Man, I should have been a Instapot salesman. We want to see you guys tomorrow.